Does not typically require public comment, and so I'll dispense with the usual reading of the warning about how to approach the microphone. The City Council manual does indicate that the mayor has discretion to either ask for or not ask for comment. Now that we've been called to order, let's dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance as well today in the effort to speed this along as fast as we can. Our city clerk's role will be played by our city administrator. Would you please call the roll?
Yes. Cahill? Yes. Gowdy?
Here.
Hoop?
Here.
Isom?
Here.
Lamer?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
Weirin?
Here.
Very good. Full house. And the first item is, and only item, is the bond sale actions. Number 1, Resolution 2019-300, awarding sale of general obligation corporate purpose and refunding bonds, Series 2019. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Discussion?
Yes.
Please.
We have Maggie with Spear Financial here to kind of go through the results.
Thank you very much, and we apologize. We're the underwriter this morning did not have all the information to us like we usually do, but what we've given you is an observation page. So we did hold the bond sale just an hour and a half ago. So again, that's why we're running a little late. We usually have the whole afternoon. We appreciate, and as you can see, we had 6 bids today. We are recommending that the city award to Robert W. Baird of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They are at the top of that list at the true interest rate of 1.7966%. That's very, very low. Our estimate was probably somewhere in the 2.25% range. Again, we've been talking about this for a couple of 3 months, and today's rates and the last couple of weeks' rates have been fantastic. So we're very happy with that. You did receive 6 very good bids, and what we can say is those first 5 are very tight, just from that 1.79 down to that 1.96%. I remind you there is new money involved in this. There's also refunding. Unfortunately, I don't have those refunding numbers exact for you, but at the 2.27% that we were looking at, the savings was at least $135,000 of savings. So we assume at a 1.79 that savings definitely will improve. Also, it should be noted that the underwriter is not taking any discount out of the deal. They're at the top. They are actually giving you a premium of $91,651.75. So they are actually giving you a premium that is premium dollars you can keep. Part of the structure of this deal is that you were going to pay cost of issuance with some cash that was in your debt service fund. So these dollars will go into your debt service fund and help offset those cost of issuance. By giving a premium as well, you will not have you will not have an underwriter's discount. So the underwriter can take a discount, and I remind you, we've talked about this before. The reason they would take a discount is that they need to pay their sales staff to go ahead and get the bonds resold. They're going to buy them today, they're going to resell them tomorrow to personal investors. They're going to sell them to insurance companies, brokerage houses, people like that. They did not take a discount today because they wanted a 2% interest rate all the way down. And we did include that debt service schedule to show you what that 2% interest rate looks like. We also did draw, as we've always done in the past, your call line on June 1st of 2026. That means at that point in time, you would be able to call the bonds in or whole or part. I do want to draw your attention to this schedule and kind of looking at the principal. I think it's important to be said because we've not been in front of you as you've discussed this. You start with some lower principal amounts, then in the middle, those larger principal amounts kind of bulk in there, and then we kind of end with more, $500,000, $650,000 range amounts there. The reason for that is we worked with your finance department to kind of level out the debt service levy. We did not want the city to have a debt service levy that was going here to there to here to there. We wanted to make sure that you were keeping that as level with what your budgeting practices have been the last few years and the cash that you're using to buy down that debt service levy. So we were trying to optimize the bond issue, but also make sure that you guys were not pushing all of the debt till the end, but you were being responsible with that debt service levy. So that's why you see that in the middle, that amount get a little bit higher. So the only other thing that, and I will not spend a lot of time on it, but we did include your Moody's rating report. I think it's very important to note that the city has maintained its AA2 rating. That is a fantastic rating for a city the size of Marshalltown. We also did have some concerns following your tornado that just depending on where valuations would come in, you know, things like that. Now, what I can say is the phone call that we had was very, very positive with them. The rating call, after they went to committee and determined the rating, they were very positive on the phone call back that they felt strongly that you still should be maintaining that AA2 rating, and that the tornado did not affect your rating just due to partially some rebuilding growth, but also just new growth that wasn't happening possibly before the tornado. So again, they give you really great stuff. We've done some highlighting in there. I want to remind you that you pay 77.9% of your principal of your general obligation debt off in the next 10 years, which is fantastic. They like to see that you're paying that off very aggressively. The one thing we always will say, substantial reduction in cash reserves is potentially one of the items that could lead to a downgrade. So I always stand in front of a group and say that. But with that, I'd answer any questions that you have. And again, we do apologize for not being as organized as we have in the past, but usually we have a few hours. Today we had an hour and a half, and the underwriter we just didn't get the cooperation that we needed out of them right away. So they had a busy morning, I'm sure, so.
Any questions or comments? Up here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call.
So did we sell this as this was one sale total for everything?
It was one sale for the refunding and the new portion.
Okay,
Yes, so the refunding is right in there, correct.
okay.
And
thank you.
the refunding, I should mention, does not go out any further than the original refunding was, or the original bonds were set to go out. So those original bonds were set to mature in 2026, and they will still mature. The portion of the refunding will still mature in 2026. It will not go any further.
Those bonds were sewer bonds, though?
They were GO bonds paid with sewer funds. So they're the 2011 GO bonds, but they were paid with sewer funds, if I recall our conversation with Diana.
Thank you,
Other questions or comments?
thank you.
Let's vote.
Gowdy?
Yes.
Hoop?
No.
Isom?
Yes.
Lamer?
No,
Martin?
Yes.
Weirin?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
The motion carried. And with nothing else to come before the council, we are adjourned at 12:08.